Welcome to episode 3 of the Serial Sewist and Knitter. I am Patricia. I live in Australia. I use this little corner on the internet to talk about all my knitting and my makes and my sewing and all things that are crafty goodness. You can find links to my Instagram, my shop, Colourways Collective, and my Ko-Fi in the description below. Everything that I mention in terms of designers, patterns, stores where an acquisition may have come from, if it's crafting related, and anything else that comes up, I will do my best to include references to that in the description as well. And I will also include chapters so that you can skip ahead or skip back if there's something that you're more interested in listening to or skipping. So welcome. It has been a hot minute, like a seriously hot minute. I know in the first episode I said I would aim for like once a fortnight. April, I just have completely lost control of April. Like April is gone. Yeah, but it was good. There is a lot to get through. And you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my table where I have like bundles of different acquisitions that I need to think about how I'm going to talk about them. Not including things that are on the floor around me that you can't see. So, first things first, this episode's going to be a bit different to my usual episode structure because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Colourways Collective. I'm going to do this first so that if that's not what you're interested in listening to, you can skip ahead to my regular content. So a little bit about Colourways Collective. The last year, around mid last year, I started to put together a bit of a plan to set up my own online business. The reason I wanted to do this came out of finding it really difficult to discover new indie yarn dyers, especially here in Australia. And that could be for different reasons, like marketing, social media, algorithms, not following the right hashtags. So it wasn't until I attended the virtual Big Wool show that I discovered a lot of Australian-based indie yarn dyers. And so it I don't want to say it annoyed me. It inspired me to set up something within the maker community, which is something I had been contemplating anyway. And so that's what I did. So I contacted a few of the Australian indie yarn dyers and asked them if they were interested in collaborating on a limited edition colorway that would be available exclusively through my new online shop as a way to showcase them and help other people discover them. So all these dyers have their own shops and businesses or micro businesses, and the objective is to plug the gap a little bit. And I do eventually want to offer international shipping so that people overseas can discover some of the Aussie yarn dyers as well. It is just Australian based at the moment in terms of who I collaborate with and who I'm shipping to, but I am seriously thinking about opening up shipping to overseas customers, and I will start to think about what collaborating with an overseas indie yarn dyer will look like as well. So that's a bit of the background of how it got started. I approached Obsession Yarns, Make Moran, Skip Rope Yarn Co., Woolen Works, and Rainbows and Sprinkles and VK Yarns, and asked them if they would pretty please be interested in doing a custom limited edition dye or colorway for my online store for the launch collection. And these people were all so wonderful and kind and said yes. And so come April, so that was like from around October last year, come April, I was finally able to launch. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colorways, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you all of them, and I'll mention which ones are still in stock and which ones are sold out or about to be sold out. And we'll take it from there. So in no particular order, the first collaboration that I'm going to talk about is with Skip Rope Yarn Co., who is run by a lovely human being called Cass. She is currently traveling around Australia with her family, which is amazing. So she's on hiatus. So once her colors sell out, like that's done. Like that's it. Until she's ready to get back home and you know, get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to show you Space Junk because this is one of the colorways that she did for the store. And this one looks a bit messy because it was used in product shots. So the product shots have shots of the skein unraveled, and this is me manually scanning it back up. It is amazing. There is only one lonely skein, not this one lonely skein left of this in the shop. It's been really popular. So she did a release of this color in her shop before I stocked it in mine. So it's not, I guess, not one time feature in the community. So I just wanted to be transparent around that. But it is beautiful. I am thinking about whether or not I make myself a sweater with this paired with like a white or off-white mohair, because I think that'll soften the transition of all the speckling that's in this, because it really does like go through all these different color gradients, which are amazing. One only skein left of that in the shop. The second color that she created, which is exclusive and limited edition, is Summer Rain. This one I really love because it is this really lovely minty green. And it's got some speckles and it's got a bit of depth, and you just discover new bits and pieces every time you look at this. And people have taken a shining to it. And while I talk about this, I've separately purchased some mohair to pair with it for my own project. And I have a swatch of what it looks like paired with mohair. So as you can see, it gets like a muted kind of tone, and the transitions of the colors are a bit more subtle. So I am very, very keen to make this into a Patil Knits no frills, because I think it's really nice. So that's from Skip Rope Yarn. The other dye that I'm going to talk about now, who has also graciously contributed some stunning colorways, is Marie from Obsession Yarns. She's based out of the ACT and spectacular dyer. So I discovered her through the Big Wool show, and I purchased her Happiness colorway, which is like this vibrant, bright rainbow. It's just stunning. And that's like her signature color. So that's how I found her. That's how I got introduced to her. The first colorway she did for the limited edition releases was Eventide, which was her homage to my brand colors for Colourways Collective. So it is like a purple, orange, fuchsia. Eventide obviously means sunset, so it is beautiful, a sunset variegated skein. It has been popular. People are really liking it, and I can see why. It is just beautiful. You can make a really, really beautiful one skein shawl with this. I push those a lot because I think it's the best way to use a lonely skein of something that goes through a lot of color transitions that you're not really sure how you're going to build it into a project, especially if you're not confident with color work. Or if you have like a main color and just one contrast color motif on a sweater or on a yoke, something like this can look very nice. So I still have a few of these, well, several of these left in stock if you are interested. This one, which I'm showing you now, has sold out. Chroma has just blown my mind. Like, it was a late addition to the collection release and wildly popular. So I listed it a few days, like 5 days ago, and it's gone. And it's purple, it's lilac, it's like that periwinkle purple, it's got speckling, it's got a bit of like a rosy gold pink in there as well. So whilst it is sold out, if there are enough people who ask for it to be brought back and there is enough demand, I can definitely have a conversation with Marie around whether or not we can do a second run. Rare, but it can happen. So if you're sad that you missed out and there are enough of you that are upset about it, or not upset, I don't want anyone to ever be upset, enough of you who are interested in this color, let me know. The next dye I have mentioned on my episodes before, it is Woolen Works. Chloe, I love Chloe. Chloe's in the States at the moment on holidays, but before she went, she got a batch of this beautiful exclusive color called Violet Valley for my shop. It has pink, it has purple, it has periwinkle, it's even got some like white, almost like a white, but it's not really white because it's been washed with a bit of the violet. It's just like lighter tones. People are loving this. Someone is planning on making like an Oslo hat, holding it with mohair. I am so keen to see what that looks like. So there is still stock in this if you are interested. And it is no words, to be honest. Like, just, you like pastels, you like pink and purples, that's your jam. The next dyer is Moran, and she's based out of the Blue Mountains here in New South Wales. She's dyed Snow on the Oval, which is this beautiful cream green variegated yarn. The story behind it is that it's meant to represent snow on the football oval in winter, and I think that's really lovely. So we still have a Snow on the Oval if you are interested. The colour Poseidon by Moran has just gone gangbusters. Everyone is in love with this teal, and I am so pleased that I asked for like a teal from her, because I just sent her a photo and she just came up with something that just has so much depth, and it is stunning. And there's still some skeins left of this, but not many. So if you're keen to make yourself like a sweater or something, like beautiful, definitely get on that. The other two colors that I have to talk to you about, I'm going to show you in how they look caked up because I'm knitting with them at the moment. So this is my Curio sock. This is like my third pair now. And the main strong color is Pink Tulip by VK Yarns, which is this one. And it has gold speckles in there. It's got like a navy black speckle in there. It's just, Michaela does some great work with animal and plant protein fibers. So if you are interested in finding someone who does this type of work with cotton, definitely have a look at VK Yarns. The lighter color in this is Minty Julep by Rainbows and Sprinkles. And it is like a minty green that's changing into a really super soft pastel pink. And it's very nice. Like, it's a really subtle transition. And I really love how it's working in this sock. So I've been neglecting them. So normally I can knit a pair of socks in like a week. But I've been focusing on some other stuff and life has been busy. So I haven't finished them yet. So these are the beautiful limited edition colors that I have listed up on Colourways Collective, except for Chroma. Chroma has sold out. Go have a look, check them out. It's on Instagram. I've got a website, so you won't find me on Etsy. I have a standalone website. We have good blog posts on there about what you can do with different indie dyed yarns and some care tips as well. Slowly but surely, we'll get some more content up there. And as the makes start to come through with these, I'm also going to put together a bit of a blog post feature of the community makes. Because I think that's the fun stuff, right? Seeing what people are making with it. So that is it for Shop Talk in terms of collection 1. I would love to hear from you if you are overseas and you are interested in buying some of this. There are a few makers in the community who I have pegged for colors. I think like I could be like, I think this person would knit this. So yeah, like super excited. It's traveling sustainably, which was my objective. I wanted it to be a sustainable model with not a lot of pressure for the dyers or for me, because I have a full-time day job as well. And I'm already planning collection 2. I'm hoping to have that ready to go in winter here in Australia, which is around June, July. And it'll be like, it's mood board inspiration is up on the Instagram. It's going to be like moody neutrals. So I want tonal moody neutrals. That's the conversation I'm having with the indie yarn dyers. Some of them are pushing outside of their comfort zones, which is amazing. And I'm really keen to see what that turns out like, because I would love to be able to give people some like luxe staple colors that they can use in their wardrobe for different pieces or different garments or different gifts that have versatility and longevity as well. So promise, that is it for Shop Talk. In terms of yarn. And now I will start to switch back into my normal serial Sewist knitter content. Now, I have a lot of acquisitions to talk about. I have 2 things on my needles that I'm going to mention, and I don't have any finished objects knitting wise to show you. I have 2 finished objects that were sewing projects that I might briefly mention, but I won't start talking about that straight away. On my needles, you saw the Curio sock, Lonesome sock as one of them. My partner's jumper is still unattended to. I think I have a couple more raglan increases to go before I get to the body and then well, get to the part where you go to like sleeve separation and start the rest of the body. But it's been sitting a bit dormant at the moment. And that's because I have this to show you. The last time I showed you the La Bien-Aimée wool for my Lento sweater, I cast this on like 2 weeks ago, and it is just, everyone's just flying off the needles. It is just, now I know what they mean. Like, let me just get this sorted so I can show you. Like, I'm on the last sleeve. You can see the like halo and the green here. It is so soft. I am in love with this wool. I just want to make all the things holding Como double with something. So Como is like a brushed alpaca that La Bien-Aimée has, and it is like butter, like absolute butter. And I love this sweater so much. I love the color. I didn't fold down the neckline like the pattern tells you to. I actually like it a little bit longer and higher because it's a good height. It's not like suffocating you. I'm excited to wear it once I finish it. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend so I can just start wearing it. Like, absolutely obsessed with that wool. Like, I want all of the colors in Como, and I just want them in my stash so that I can just pick it up and knit anything I want with it. It is just absolutely beautiful. So if you've ever thought about knitting with a brushed alpaca and you're in a position to invest in something that's a bit on the pricier side, because La Bien-Aimée is not cheap wool. It is beautiful, high quality wool, but it is also priced at that point. I like stand behind it. This is not sponsored. I paid for the wool that I used in my sweater, and like 100 times would knit that in black, would knit it in grey, would knit it in like a stone color. Like, I want it in all the basics. So obsessed, really happy. I'm definitely going to be wearing the crap out of that. I'll let you know how it holds up. The other thing that I have on my needles is the Gresham wrap. So I think you can kind of see it here. This is just the beginnings of it. So I saw it on the Instagram of Young Glorious Yarn. This is the pattern. The ladies at Young Glorious Yarn were so sweet. They sent me the pattern. So they put up a post where they showed the mannequin with this wrap hanging from it, and it's got like a retro vibe. And it just, these retro rainbows, guys, like they remind me of my love of brands like Roxy and Billabong and Rip Curl from my teens. So whenever I see it flash in like a knitting pattern, I'm just like, I have to have it. It's something that I need in my wardrobe. So that's what I'm working on. This also crosses over to like acquisitions, right? So it's kept in this really beautiful Patil Knits project bag. Patil Knits is collaborating with me on an exclusive bag that'll be sold in my shop. It won't be in this fabric. I thrifted the fabric and really, really, really happy with the outcome. There'll be like a small number of project bags that'll go up on sale once they arrive. And I'm really excited to be able to put something out there to the community that really speaks to my values on reducing our impact on the environment. So watch that space. I promise that's the last shop talk. Last plug. So in here I have like all the different colors that I'm using on the shawl. I call it a shawl, it's a wrap, but it's a shawl. You can see gold here. So it is really like a really nice knit. Each section has a different stitch type, which keeps it interesting. But also, it's going to sound bad, but it's also kind of annoying because it means you have to be paying attention to what you're doing. You can't just mindlessly knit like you do if you're making a sweater and it's in the round and it's stockinette. But it is nice, and I'm keen to have it moving along. So that's what's on my needles at the moment. In terms of anything else that I've mentioned before, I haven't finished the Le Pouf. I have like this much left. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just sitting there. Like I said, the lento, addictive, beautiful, like butter to knit. So that is completely has me enamored with it. And that's why the other stuff hasn't progressed. Finished objects. I have one, half of one. I have the Eine mittens. I don't know if she's released the pattern yet, so I'm just gonna. So the Eine mittens test knit is done. The pattern's not out yet, I don't think, and that's fine. So I won't show you more. In terms of non-knitting finished objects, I finished a dress for my niece and a baby quilt for my nephew for their birthdays, which is also in April. And I will put some photos up so that you can see what that looks like. It was a lot of fun to make. And I managed to get them done a lot faster than I thought I would, which is really great. I don't have anything else in terms of finished objects to show you. I guess I'll talk to you about acquisitions. I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is a thrifted mohair jumper that I got today. It is designer, Australian designer. I'm going to say Age, but I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. It's written A-J-E. It was a great find. It's perfectly intact. It's mohair. It's like neon pink, which is great. It makes it on trend, but also it's enough of a solid bright color that means it will become like a statement piece. I'm really happy with that. So I didn't knit this, but that doesn't mean you can't knit this. There's like so much neon out in the community that you really could. You really could make yourself like a nice jumper. So that's what I'm wearing in terms of an acquisition. I just wanted to call that out in case people thought that I made this. There's a lot. So I used a Christmas voucher from my brother to acquire the Leica driftwood knitting needles, the interchangeable set. In, I think it's called indigo. It's like indigo dyed. I used these to knit up the lento, most of it except for the sleeves. The sleeves I've got like tiny interchangeable wooden needles that I think I got from Knit Picks. These are really good. They are on the pricier side, so they are an investment, but nonetheless a good investment if you've got the means to direct money in that way. Otherwise, the ones from Knit Picks, totally fine. Like I think my first pair of knitting needles were from Knit Picks, and they were just the standard wooden ones. Sorry, I've got allergies with the dust. the other yarny goodness acquisitions that I have in front of me are a custom order from Chloe from Woolworks. So before Chloe decided to take a very well-deserved holiday to the States, I managed to squeeze in a custom order for sport weight for flamingo and fairy bread to make the Great Gingham. I swatched for the Great Gingham. I didn't get gauge. You guys know how much I wanted to make myself a Great Gingham in this combo. I don't know if I will anymore. I can explain. So the color work in that is very fiddly to me. And so I'm not sure I can cope with it for a whole sweater. But what I might do is make a shifty using this, because I have the shifty and this is sport weight and that pattern calls for sport weight. So I haven't done anything since I didn't get gauge. I'm just kind of thinking on it. I also custom ordered from her fairy bread in the mohair. I really think I want to get it in Surrey because I'm obsessed with Surrey at the moment, but this mohair is stunning, and the colors show up really in a really like nice muted way in some parts. Like some of it's really bright and some of it's nice and muted. My initial thinking was to make this into a purple fizz by Patil Knits. I think that would look really lovely, but we'll see. Like I've got enough of this to be able to hold it double with fingering if I wanted to make something else. The other bit which I showed you before was this one, which is Sea Glass by Three Cats Yarns. It is I put it through as a custom order, but she does have this as a colorway in her store, and she includes cute stitch markers. I love these. So I showed you the swatch before, and I'm just seeing if I've still got it. So I held it with some Moran, and I think that's going to look really nice. I think the sweater, like, feels really nice. It's a nice color. So that's my acquisitions from Australian-based dyers, which I'm really happy with. The other thing that I got was a snagged up sweaters quantity of the limited edition Scotch Mule and Gotland undyed yarn from Wool and Twine Fibre Studios. This I was so keen to get my hands on, and I tend to miss out on overseas releases because of the time difference, but I was really happy to get my hands on this. It is really nice and soft. It is not scratchy. So please don't think that non-superwash is scratchy. It's not. It's really nice. I want to knit this into something really special because it is from, I guess you can say like the first haircut of the sheep. And to me that just sounds really magical. So I want to make it into something nice and special. I am thinking of a Sari Norland pattern, maybe the Neuter NWTUR sweater. I don't know. I just know I want to make it something really, really nice and special. So I was really happy when that arrived. Separately, yesterday I had more mohair from the Wandering Flock in Icy Lavender. This is really nice. It is really soft. It is cool. I think you can tell that it's like a cool tone. I got 3 skeins of this. Yes, 3. Which can be held double with 3 skeins of fingering, and it'll work beautifully. I am thinking of pairing it with a purple that I have in my stash already. or with this from my shop. Like, how nice would that look? I think it would really make it like a muted pastel transition, and it would just look really, really nice. So, you know, thinking about it. So that is my Wandering Flock acquisition. I'm thinking about getting another skein of Icy Lavender, and I have some of their Spring Fever colourway sitting in my cart ready for checkout. We'll see. I really like that colourway. I'm probably going to end up buying it. I make no apologies. I'm owning up to the fact that I really love wool. I really love acquiring wool, and I really love knitting. And I am still going to manifest all my dreams in my maker dreams. It just might not be as quickly as I'm acquiring the wool. And I'm accepting that. Final yarn acquisitions that I got. So I showed you the Gresham shawl where I picked up and showed you the worsted weight wool from Blue Sky Fibers, wool stock, yes. Convent and Chapel, sorry for the rustling. Convent and Chapel is one of the few places here in Australia that stocks Tuco wool. And when I purchased the Tuco wool for the test knit, I purchased a whole bunch of Tuco wool in fingering weight in like 1 or 2 skeins in different colors, because I know that I'm going to be using it at some point in like some minor color work for a project, or in some socks, or in some more knit and mitts. Like I want to make some more Ines socks because I really loved making them, so that was part of the reason. But I got these in addition to the grey that I showed you in the mitten before. And that like really vibrant red was also Tuco wool. The difference between Tuco wool fingering and Tuco wool sock is that Tuco wool is 100% non-superwash. The Tuco wool sock weight has a bit of a nylon blend. So, and I think it affects the yardage. So I'm just pulling that out in case you see it and you have questions about the difference. That's what it is. Convent and Chapel, really, really great wool shop up towards Mudgee in northern New South Wales. The ladies there are magnificent, always so helpful. They've also started to stock Tuco wool in DK, so if you are someone who has been wanting to try Tuco wool, haven't been able to find it, or it's too expensive to ship from overseas, go to Convent and Chapel online and they have some. They have them in the really nice neutral, like natural colors, so go for your life if that is your heart's desire. The other acquisitions that I have, and I'm moving through it quite quickly, I know, because there's a lot, are 2 books. One is knitting socks from Finland. I forgot the title, purely because of this cover image. So there is a sock pattern floating around on the internet that was released only in one of the Nordic languages, which has like different fruit pixelated all over them, and it's meant to be like a production of a vintage jam or preserve that's been taken and turned into a pattern. I can't find it in English anywhere, and so this is my consolation prize until I can find it in English, because I love these type of socks. I want to make all of them and more of them, and that is the only place where I really like my complex color work and patterns, which is my segue to Urban Knits, which is by where is her name? Lenny Hoimela, who has also had stuff published in Liner magazine. She's put out a book and it is finished designs, but they're all really lovely, chic simple with a little bit of interest kind of designs. And I gravitate towards that quite a lot. My aesthetic is quite simple chic, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to describe if you get to asked to describe things. I like clean lines. Like if you put a Colourworks sweater next to this, I will probably pick this. I think that is beautiful. I think you could make that in any colour. It could work for casual, it could work for work, and that's what I really love, is the versatility of it, but also the elegance and the style of it. So I'm very excited to actually crack this open properly and pick a pattern and knit something from it. Yeah, super keen. And I'm gonna, like, it'll seem quick, but that's not my intention. It's just I'm very excited to share all this with you. So today I went thrifting. I mentioned that I'm wearing a sweater that is from where I thrifted. So I went thrifting with one of my friends who I have not seen in 12 years. I think we worked it out, it was 12 years. She'd been living overseas for a bit. She's just recently come back, and we finally coordinated and got off our butts and met up. So we went to we went thrifting, and she found herself a beautiful like navy wrap dress, and we found her a Burberry trench, an original Burberry trench that was a bargain find that fits her beautifully. That's going to form part of her wardrobe now, which made me really happy. So I love thrifting. I could go on all day about thrifting and strategizing for it and how to not feel overwhelmed. I will think about doing a separate video just on that maybe, because I really enjoy talking about it, and I think there's knowledge that can be shared. So why wouldn't you share it? I digress. There was a bargain bin full of sewing fabric, and it was all for $2, irrespective of how big the yardage or meterage of the fabric was. So I went gangbusters, and I found fuchsia linen, like beautiful fuchsia linen. And this, I don't know how much of the linen, like meterage I have in the linen. I think this, I probably have like 1.5 meters. And I'm still thinking about what I can make with it because it's quite a stiff fabric. I have some red, like satin. I think it's like 2.5 meters. So it's shiny. It could be lining, or it could be like a slip dress, like a cami or a slip skirt, depending on what you're vibing. This, which I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it's like a Duchess silk, I think it's called, like that heavy kind of silk that you get for gowns, but it almost feels like tailoring fabric. Like you could make a nice skirt for work from this, and it's going to have an elevated feel because of the drape, but also because of the integrity and the weave of the fabric. So I'm very excited about that. I found this, which is from Japan, and there are 3 meters of this, and it is like, if you saw the yarn that I was showing you before, it's like pastel pinks and blues, and it's like a gingham check. And I think this will make a really, really beautiful summer dress, or spring dress, or spring-summer dress. I don't make things for one season, I try and make them transition for the whole year. And then just some really cute navy cotton fabric that's got like little flowers, red flowers with green scattered on them. And that can just be leftover quilting fabric, or for like bias tape. So I I got a lot of good fabric, which I was really happy to find. I got this, and I also rescued a pair of jeans, which I was really happy to do because jeans are quite bad for the environment, and people don't always appreciate how durable denim is, and with the proper care and like proper washing, I guess, and awareness, you can actually get decades out of a pair of jeans. So I encourage you, if you do go thrifting and you see a pair of jeans and they fit and they look great, rescue them. Otherwise they end up in landfill, and that's worse than giving them a second chance or a second life. I keep looking down because I'm looking at a timer. I'm looking at a timer because I have tried to record this episode like 3 times today, and it just, everything that could have thrown it off has thrown it off a little bit, but that's okay because it's happened. There's no point in getting upset. You just keep moving forward and you learn from it. So my timer is set for set blocks, which is why I keep looking down, and which is why I may sound a little bit rushed, because I'm cognizant that when this goes off, the camera will stop recording, and then I don't want it to stop recording midway like it just did before. Anyway, so the past month has been super busy in a really good way. I've been busy with life stuff. I've been busy with the shop launch. I've been busy with birthdays for family. Everything's starting to open up again here in Sydney, and so people are going out more. I'm catching up with friends that I haven't seen in a really long time. And we've had a couple of big chunks of public holiday periods here as well. So that's been really nice for different reasons. One of the really fun reasons, or there were several really fun reasons, but 2 of the highlights for me so far have been driving down to Melbourne, which is an 8-hour drive each way, and visiting the Chanel Manifesto exhibition at the National Gallery of Victoria. And that was just so much fun. I was so happy to be able to go and see it before it finished up. It finished up on Anzac Day, which is 25th of April. I got the book. I wasn't able to get it at the gallery because they had sold out, so I got it from Amazon. Amazon still has some if you're interested. I don't get anything for saying that. I'm just sharing the information. It was a great exhibition. I really got a lot of value out of doing the audio tour. It was unfortunate that the Wi-Fi in the building is so crap because it dropped in and out. So while you were streaming different chapters for the exhibition, it would drop in and out, and you wouldn't get the full experience consistently. So we ended up missing like the last 5 chapters of the entire show, which was a bit of a bummer because Tilda Swinton was narrating it. And it gave you a lot of context and background, and really gave you insight into the fact that Coco was a fantasist and a storyteller and a feminist and didn't know it, and a child-free woman in her own right in a time where it wasn't really talked about. So it was a really great exhibition. I got a lot out of it. If you go to galleries and exhibitions, do the audio tours, you will get so much more out of it, and it will walk you through the exhibition in the way the curator intended you to see those pieces. And that is so important because it is thoughtfully and meticulously planned out for you in that way. And I don't think people appreciate that all the time. The other highlight was we stopped by a little rural town, and I picked up a couple of really nice wool and cashmere scarves and a beautiful oversized leather overnight bag. and like just nice stuff that contributes to the local economy of local rural towns. That makes me really happy. The other highlight for me so far this month was going mushroom foraging. So we went a couple of times because it's the season, and I got to try my first ever saffron milk caps. I say that not because I don't know what they are, but because past seasons when we've gone mushroom picking or mushroom foraging, we haven't been able to find any. Or we've found slippery jacks, or we've found like trampled saffron milk caps. Saffron milk caps are amazing and delicious, and all of the amazing things that you can think about in terms of mushrooms. And I'm just super keen to go back when the season's right to get more. So we did that, which was a lot of fun. There were leeches, which was gross, but like you're in nature, you're in their territory, so you just got to respect that and just manage it. We have booked some stuff ahead of time for later in the year as well, which is really, really cool. So I think there's like a lot going on, like forward thinking, like project maker thinking, as well as just the world is shifting as well. And work has been really busy as well, and I've been learning new ways of dealing with different types of people, and just really learning the value of what it is to have really supportive people around me at work too. So it's been really, really good. A lot going on in really good, productive ways. I'm just trying to think of what else I can update you on. I think I mentioned like the planned projects that I have going. I do think I will end up making like a Patil Knits no frills in the summer rain paired with the mohair from 3 Cats Yarns. I think that's like going to look beautiful. I'm also really contemplating like a mohair fingering shawl. I mentioned the Venus shawl before. Something of that nature I think would be really nice to knit. I'm just cognizant of knitting sweaters because we are getting into winter here. So I have to finish my lento. I should finish my lapoof, even though that's going to be more of like it's more of a casual fun project for me. And I have to finish my partner's one too. He bought like a ready to wear knitted sweater that's like an acrylic blend and is already grown. Like the length is stretching out. But I get it. Like if he had to wait for me to finish, he'd probably end up not having a jumper at all throughout winter. Because I like knitting for me, and I always prioritize, making that stuff. That's just who I am. So, thank you for sticking around for a really long episode. It's never been my intention to put out episodes that are this long, but I think there was just a lot that happened. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram. You have a link to my Ko-Fi if you want to shout me a cup of coffee. You have a link to my shop if you want to check out the colorways that I talked about at the beginning. And if you want to, you can follow my shop on Instagram as well if you want to keep up to date with the new releases, the new products that we'll be adding in there from time to time. I would love to hear about how your past month was. Have you found that you're getting busier? Are you catching up with friends more? Are you still enjoying hermit life, as I like to call it? Because I certainly love staying at home. I prefer it to going out, but I also get a lot of joy from connecting with people, but it does drain my energy. I'm much more of an introvert. So let me know, like, are you starting to go out? Are you thrifting? Are you a thrifter like me? I'd be really keen to find out. And if you're interested, maybe not even if you're interested, guys, I might just put out a video about thrifting because it's something that I really love talking about. We'll see. In the meantime, look after yourselves and each other, and I will catch you.